Hey, this is Charles Laloma, and my boy Will Davis.
What's up?
So today we're going to be speaking about changing words to make yourself seem more intelligent, especially on resumes. We're
Mm,
going to talk about how females or males setting up their kids for failure,
mm.
and then also we have some news about a guy that went across state to meet a 14-year-old. All
Oh,
that today on the LDM Show.
He's got my heart beating louder than a gunshot. Smokes out the barrel and the handpiece is burning hot. He's got me, he's guilty of loving me in the first degree. Such a criminal after my own heart. He's in my mind like a thief sneaking through the dark.
Hello, hello. Hope you guys having a good weekend. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Our virtual clapping. Welcome to the LDM Show again. I'm Charles Laloma. My boy over here, Will Davis.
What's up?
So just came back from his vacation.
That's why I'm looking blacker.
Yeah. They was like, is that Blackman? No, that's
no,
not
no,
him.
no.
That's not him. He's still under the bed in the shadows. So, but how was your vacation though?
It was fun. It was a lot of good hot weather, good food, and I got to see some pretty nice scenery and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I think the best part about getting away sometimes though is just like I made a game of myself of like where to try and figure out where people are from. Because so many people speak so many different languages out there, so it's fun to just kind of like pick out what language I was listening to and whatnot at that time. So yeah.
You never did the what are they talking about game?
Oh,
That-
that's
that you sit,
fun.
that you sit there and you just watch them. Oh, look. I think they on their first date. On their
Yeah.
Oh, look. He just told her that this and this and that. I'll be like, you got to make up a story. When you're looking
Yeah.
at somebody and you can't hear what they're saying, make up a
Put it
story
together.
of what they
Well, that's
they
one of my
actually
favorite
talking
people
about.
watching things to do.
Yeah.
Go to the park and do that.
So excuse me, I don't want to be rude. I'm just sharing it as you guys should. Share it and invite other people to come on and watch this and join the conversation. But yeah, I think sightseeing for me when I take a trip has to be something where I can't see in my hood, like
Right,
where
right.
I'm at. I want to see, let's see a waterfall. If you don't have a different waterfall, I'm not interested. But like you've seen the sunset and all that.
Yeah.
That's things you can't see here.
There's certain things you're not going to see. I mean, for me, so my favorite part, low key, about traveling is the clouds, right? Like, there's so many different cloud formations and views that you get from above them, or even sometimes in the middle of like a cloud formation.
Right.
That like I love. I think before I even got to my destination, right? Because I had to go from the city to Colombia, from Colombia to Curacao. I think I have about like 30 to 50 videos that's just clouds.
Clouds?
Because there are so many different cool clouds.
So,
Like,
so you wanted them like, is that an elephant?
well, see, if I'm on the ground, I don't really look at the clouds like that because they kind of all look the same. They don't move any kind of fast. They don't make any weird, cool shapes. When you get
Right.
up there and you're with them, you can see the 3D portion of them, right? Like how cool the depth, the different shapes, the different colors, which one looks like they're going to be rainstorms. Like, I've been fortunate enough to get really good footage of thunderstorms while in the sky, both going to Curacao and Japan, my last two trips.
Oh, wow.
So, like, this time I even got hit by lightning at one
Wow.
point, so that, that was
Nah,
cool.
I remember taking our trip, and we were above the clouds, and I was like, wow, that was nice. And as soon as he came under the clouds, that all I seen was ice and
Yeah.
water. I was like, go back
Go
up.
back up, yeah, yeah.
But that's good. I'm hoping you guys had a good weekend. Put it a little bit low, like what you did so far. Well, basically, I want to know what people did last week when we had that first good weather day.
I don't.
Some people got crazy.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you wasn't here. You wasn't here. But some people went crazy. I seen little Daisy Dukes coming back out again.
Okay.
I'm like, it's hot for one day. Calm down.
No,
know what I
you
mean?
gotta understand, man. When good weather hits New York, right? Because here's the thing: New York goes from freezing cold to burning hot And somewhere in between this happening, you get these really nice days that are not too humid. Because like,
oh my God, yes.
80 degrees where I was just at felt like a nice, beautiful day that's 60-something degrees here. Because the humidity here equals that 80. You
Oh,
know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So like, when you got a day like that, that one day in the week, because the rest of it can go back to 40 degree and under weather, everybody's showing off. That's this New York thing. You get good weather in New York and nobody knows how to act.
True. I seen people over there. They were loving. They were showing their winter bodies. I can't even say summer bodies. They were showing up their winter body. I was like,
Because it was winter the day beforehand. Come on
Put
now.
it back. Put it
no,
back.
no. Show what your mama gave you.
Put it back. We don't want to see jiggling all around. Put it back.
Come on. You don't want to poke the belly a little bit?
No. But we're gonna get into some good conversations. Now especially with everything pretty much opening, there's new jobs coming up. People making resumes. People forgetting how to make a resume because they never really made one because they always go for like regular jobs, like McDonald's, stuff that really don't need.
Well, I mean,
a big resume.
So here's the thing: depending on the type of job, too, you can either keep it in a classic, basic format, or you could go into something that looks more visually appealing. Because, like, especially if you're applying to a graphics job, your resume should have a little panache to it. You know what I'm saying?
It should have graphics around it.
But if you're doing a simple job, let's say even administrative work is a gray area because of if you're doing like executive administration stuff and when you have a background, you might want to put it on a nicer paper, maybe a special font. But a regular front desk receptionist thing, you might want a more plain looking resume. I mean. Number one.
All resumes should not be on a 10-pound paper. It should be 15 to 20 up because, it has that nice thickness. Not a cardstock, not a hard one, but it has like nice thickness. Some of them have the background faded in. Something where they're going to look, they're going to put it to the side. Oh, another one, another white one, another white one. Ooh, colors. You know what I mean? Like, they'll stop because it catches the eye. Well, that's one thing you can do for a resume.
That's if they actually look at it, because now, I don't know if anybody else is looking for work, but, like, if you're going and applying for jobs, they have AI that does it, too.
Yeah. No, that's what I was going to say. If I'm going to look for a job or something, I'm going to use the AI, but I'm going to use it to the extreme more than anyone else. I'm going to have it where I'm going to send it out to a job. When they press a button, here comes a character to come out. Hi, let me tell you a little bit about Charles Laloma. You know what I mean?
That'd be cool. But
they're going to be like, what
But the jobs that you're applying for are using AI to screen your resume. Instead of having someone
actually
like
look writing
through
it.
No,
screaming. Yeah,
they're screening it. Like, they're literally reading the resumes to be like, these words match job requirements, and to send it to somebody. Because
the amount of year, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because they're just, people are tired of going through 1,000 resumes, and maybe 100 of them are actually relevant to the position, right? Which is why they also say tailor-make a resume for the jobs you're applying for, right? So let's say you're someone who's worked 1 million jobs. You had the opportunity, but now let's say you're applying to another 1 million. If you have jobs that do all receptionist work, make your resume show the background in there. Try and cover up any gaps if you can, but all applicable work there. You're doing security, all your security jobs. You're doing tech, all your tech jobs. Again, there may be gaps in between because of the other things, and during that time you can put, a filler or stuff like that if you want to put in those jobs that are in between, but make sure you're putting all the relevant work on the resume.
Yeah, and I'm bringing up resumes as well because don't write the way you speak. And there's certain words that I want to put here that you can change around. Like even your title, change it. Like I said, I got to the law firm by having a funny title. I was a duplication engineer. In other words, I was a copy boy for Pitney Bowes. But I changed it myself because I wanted to sound more.
Right.
So figure out what are you doing, and then write down everything you do in your job, because some of those things you do turns into something.
Right.
Hey, I've been answering phones and taking notes for the guy for like a whole month. Now you're a receptionist.
Yep.
So you can write down for 1 month, I was a receptionist. So don't cut yourself short. Now, don't put too much, because too much they're going to be like, well, that means you never stood in one position in that job.
Right.
So, there are things. Here are some words you can change in your life too. Manage to direct, meaning I was responsible and I oversee.
Right. So instead of saying you were a manager, fry department. You know,
Right.
director of.
Yeah, I oversee the potatoes, the Idaho projects. You know what I mean?
No, but seriously, because if you look at a lot of companies, a manager is like here and a director is here.
Right.
So if you change it on your job description, job title, it'll look better.
Yeah, I worked organized. You change it to where was I? No, that's not correct, man.
So responsible for to oversaw
Yeah, to work. Yeah, work. You can change it to.
to organize.
I don't know if organized would be a good word for work.
Or maybe orchestrated.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but work organized to orchestrated. I don't know. Hey, Apple, how's it going? But here goes. I did to accomplish, meaning I helped the faculty. Like I helped people. Instead of saying I did the work, I did this. No, I helped. So even changing that helps a lot. Made to craft, meaning I handled and controlled. Hola, Rosa, ¿cómo está? But right now we're just speaking about resumes and changing words in resume and in your life to help you out. I was part of, or I participated. You can change it to gain experience. You know, you gained experience. Managed or supervised to run an executive.
No, execute it.
Execute, I'm sorry. The rest, I don't know, conducted to carry out, meaning wrote. So there are words you can say like supervisor to a line. Like there's factory workers that say I was a line supervisor.
Right.
No, I was a group organizer or something like that. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Expand
group
it,
organizer or
expand it.
like I was saying, supervisor, well, line supervisor, and you put manager of the line. You get what I'm saying? You know, just assisted, managed, demonstrated. Yeah.
Right.
That's a good one.
I always say assistant manager. Yep.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Patty has gone too.
You wanna always try and tweak it so that way instead of seeing like just a regular employee, you were someone who took a lead role. Right. You were actively participating.
That's what's going to
in
help
your
you
job.
when you try to find another job, especially an executive white collar job. If you're looking for a white collar job, they're not looking for a secretary. They're looking for an
Executive assistant.
They're looking for that. What that means? Oh, I was a secretary. But they're not looking. They're looking for that word.
Right. Don't be a janitor.
Yeah.
Right? Be a custodial engineer.
Yeah, a custodian engineer. Just the word engineer behind it.
Yeah.
They were like, wow, this guy sounded important.
Yeah.
What you did? Oh, I swung mops around. But they don't know that because of the word you use. And that's where you have to examine what you did. Write it down and then expand it a little bit more.
You know, if you...
Oh,
No,
yeah, the admin assistant.
Administrative assistant these days is still
Or if you're in the
comparable
law-
with
if-
receptionist.
If you're a law paralegal.
Yeah.
It's still the same thing, but it's just different words.
But I mean,
Meter maid, now you're just a traffic cop. So
you know, but I mean, the thing about it is, I find more often than not, if you actually look at the various tasks that you do in your profession, you're often doing more than what the job title itself would make one think, right? So write out, I'm just for you, whether you put it on the resume or not, but write out all the different tasks that you're asked to do on a daily or weekly basis, and I bet you it'll inspire a different sort of idea of what your job is, and then from there you can put that on your resume.
yes, as you've seen the person, Patty, she said I always say assist. She does like event planning. She does balloons. She does, we met her on Juneteenth, going all over the place. Her thing, since she's pretty much the owner of her own stuff, I would probably put event executive coordinator or something. What that means, I'm just the owner of, you know what I'm saying? But it sounds so big a title.
But at the same time, you just said she's an owner. She just got to
No,
put
but if you say
CEO,
owner,
like,
sometimes the owners don't do nothing.
But that the CEO.
Oh, or CEO, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
Or COO, because they do more work than the CEO.
That's true. That's true.
So it's just it's just words that you need to do. And she just said, posted up something. Yeah, I also do security training, and she said I also do. Do I have to resume?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has to do.
You should have more than one resume.
Well, when it comes
unless
down
you're applying to one field.
Right, when it comes down to a owner trying to get a job, they don't call it a resume. They just call it, what was it? Trying to remember the word. It's just gonna pop up, but it's like you're gonna introduce yourself to a company. Like we have a pamphlet of the company, what we do, and you give that out. So that's basically your resume. But in there, you're not using words like I talked to the person. No, I spoke.
Right.
I'm speaking.
I mean, that's the other thing. That's the cover letter for a lot of jobs now, is that outside of your resume, they also want to know more about you and why you're interested in their job. I mean, look,
Yeah.
I hate that question. Why do you want to work for us? Because you are paying people.
Yeah,
like
you pay
that
more,
is
but like you pay more than the other one.
That is it, right?
Like-
Like I don't know why these companies get so involved in these mission statements and things like that when you're actually doing these jobs for these companies. It's a way more political back and forth BS than this we're one family nonsense they try and preach to you at the beginning. That's why it's like, look, you have a job. I want to fill this job.
Exactly.
I want to be here because you have benefits and you're paying people. Why are we doing any more than that, right? Am I qualified to do this job? That's what you need to determine right now.
Yeah, some of the questions I'd be like looking at. How long do you think you're going to be working at? How long are you going to keep me here? That's the question.
That's about it.
So yeah, there are some questions there, but they want to know, especially when you're going for a white collar job, know the company you're working for, because if that question pops up, you'd be like, because I always wanted to be in this field, and in 1980 you did this, like something about them. That
They get impressed.
That rubs their ego.
Yeah.
That rubs their ego, and they automatically be like, wow, this person knows about our company. No, I just, on the train, I thought I,
Well,
looked you up.
what I hate is when, right, you're looking for work, right? So you're applying to multiple jobs at multiple places, and you get a call back from somewhere, and they're just like, hey, so you applied to this front desk position? Probably. Like,
Right.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, are you still interested in the position? Yeah, but what company are you with? And then they're like, oh, you don't know what company? I'm like, you think I applied to just you and your job? Like, what the heck's wrong with you?
Right.
Someone looking for work is looking for work everywhere.
You're hired, and you're in the FBI office talking about, yeah, where do I go? Who are you? Today's my first day. We didn't call you.
You're like come on now. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like if businesses want that you want to work for my company, they should also be like, every time they call someone, hey, this is Joe from so and so company.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. We saw your resume. Like, that should just be an introduction standard everywhere.
Yeah, because I remember when I had to call people for their resume, I used to, because I know sometimes when you call them, even dumb, they'll forget sometimes. So I used to be like, oh my God, I had to call you personally because I remember that interview when I walked in the room. I didn't have to call you personally.
No.
That was my job to call you. But I want to make it seem like we want you.
Right.
And that's the same way you have to do to the job. Make it seem like you want that job. Why do you want to work here? Well, out of all the advertising companies, this one is the best one. Your rate is not as high as the other ones, but I might as well work for a company that believes in me. BS.
Right.
Come on. They're gonna BS you anyway. Oh, we're gonna take care of you, and then as soon as you do something wrong, they're gonna throw you out
Right.
anyway.
That's how this works.
So BS them before they BS you, and you get the job. But watch the words you write. You can't write. I worked from 1980 to 1990, and then now all of a sudden you don't have no more jobs. You have to put that in
really
there.
what happens.
Hey, Yvonne, how's it going? But so when you're looking for jobs that they need more, change the words. That's all you have to do. It's be the same resume you gave to McDonald's, who don't really need more. They just want to know that you worked.
Well, now they being real picky. With the, yeah.
Well,
because,
of course, because you went to white collar prices.
Well, I
You know what I mean?
yeah, they're what? They're reducing actual human staff and putting in more of the, or
now they're looking for more people to program their stuff than they were looking for.
No, because you know what it is? Above all else, like if you really look at it, how many times you went to McDonald's and you still couldn't get your order taken when people were working there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so now you just might as well pay for staff to cook the food and then have the computer out there take your order.
Yeah, there you go. So, but, now your resume, how it reflects your life. That's why I say if you change some of the words around, because when we hang out together, we, maybe we'll say one or two ghetto words because we're bugging out and having.
I'm from the Bronx. I speak hood all the time.
Yeah, but we can change it and the intelligence will come out. Especially when we have that conversations about like comics or movies or wrestling.
Yeah, you gotta flip the switch.
Our language is changes, but there are people that can't do that. So they go to a job and then the way they sit, they be like, yeah.
All right, so
like, what's this?
First and foremost, that's what Grammarly is for. If you know that you can't, we got ChatGPT now, you got Grammarly, I'm sorry.
There shouldn't be no.
The computer now can do all the work for you. That there is no reason for your resume to look like how you sound. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens in the interview, that's on you, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the interview is itself. If you don't speak the way you pretty much wrote, they're going to know. They're going to be like, mm-hmm. So.
But it's not, you know what? Sometimes what it is, you can not always have the right verbiage, right? But if, let's say, your demeanor is similar to your resume, then they might be like, maybe he's just comfortable.
Yeah. Always, when you in a job interview and they're looking at your resume, some of them, like I said, I used to do that. Some of them, I'll be like looking at the resume, but I'm not reading the resume. I'm thinking about something else. What I'm doing is delaying the time to see if you have how much patience you're going to have. You got to watch that too. Then I'll be like, oh. But I'm not thinking about that. I was thinking about if I have rice and beans for lunch. No, I had that yesterday. Those are the sounds, but now that's making you nervous.
Right.
And that's the whole part of a lot of people that the interviewer does to see, especially in a white-collar job, to see if you have that patience, because you got to have a lot of brains in some of the white-collar jobs. And I'm not talking about being smart. I'm just talking about knowing how to grab this water at the same time to speak to this one, at the same time giving this guy his thing. It's like so much multitasking that you have to do on a white-collar job that they want to see that patience. So you got to watch that.
I mean, look, just about anywhere you work, regardless of what the job actually is, it all bundles down to that customer service mentality.
Oh, yes.
Right? Like, you could be in a law firm working with other lawyers, and you still got to act like they're your customer, because otherwise you're going to smack somebody. That's just, that's just how it is.
That's true. Down to it. And then you have these people that 20, 30 years in it, and they haven't grown, and it's because check your attitude. Yeah. Maybe you're a good worker, but you're not a good overall worker. To be in the front, and overall meaning your employee, your staff together, how you manage the staff, how you manage supervisor not being there. Can you take over? Things like that helps a lot in jobs, but we need to change the way. Our attitude, that thing about you can take me out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of me. Well, that's why you're down there, because you have to take sometimes the ghetto out of you when you're speaking. Now, I'm not dressing and the way you go to the interviews.
That's actually something really important. Do not go to interviews in blue jeans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Or sagging clothes, like what?
Yeah, nothing sagging either. But I've seen people get away with wearing black jeans. I've seen people I've seen people get away with wearing another job's uniform.
Oh,
right?
No.
Like, because they were just like, hey, I just had to come straight out of work. I didn't have time to change it, yada. And they were just like, well, at least you look good in a uniform, right? It was like,
right.
I've seen that.
Okay.
Do not ever, I don't recommend that, but do not ever go to a job interview in blue jeans. Black sneakers if sneakers, right? But definitely never go in blue jeans. I've seen so many people turned away without even having an interview. As soon as the person comes out and sees them in jeans, go home.
Yeah.
Like, right? Won't even explain it to them. Just be like, go home. You're not the candidate for us. I'm like, dude came all the way here from Lord knows where, but he came in blue jeans, right?
It's true.
And
Unless you're going for farmers or cowboys.
But even still, it's that idea that you didn't come in a professional mindset. I've seen people.
Yeah, because jeans is a casual, like, let
Right.
me hang out.
I've seen people come to work out on a farm in slacks. They come in their Sunday clothes, right, to get the job. You come into jeans to do the work.
Yeah, because you're coming for the interview.
Right.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
It's
That's true.
that level of professionalism and respect. Now,
That's
I'm not
like,
saying get a freaking black tie suit, unless, of course, the job is to be in a you know.
But even that, you should if you're gonna come for an interview and you want to try to look nice, a shirt with a tie doesn't really kick it without a sports jacket on.
No.
I'm saying like a lot of jobs would see you with that, unless you're going for a mailroom job. You know what I mean? But if you're going for like a good executive job, and then you wonder why I never got it, because you're half dressed in some people's eyes.
Well, yeah. See, that's for the executive job, but the average job.
Average job, yeah.
Shirt,
but
tie.
the shirt has to be. It can't be like this.
It's gotta be pressed.
You know what I mean? It can't be all the way down here. You can't be having like. It can't look like you borrowed it. It has to look, especially not the way it looks on you, but the way you move. They can tell. Are you comfortable with a tie and shirt? So they can be like, oh, this guy, either that's one of his court shirts. Or, you know, like, you know what I mean? Because what they say when they see someone in suit and tie, either you're going for a job interview or you're going to court. They don't think that that's your job. So you have to make it look like this is normal for me. And confidence, if you have that confidence outside in the streets, you should have the confidence in the job interview. And that's what shows like, damn, this guy really, you ever heard people say, oh, wow, that suit is, you working that suit.
Right.
Because that means you have the confidence to bring the suit out, not the suit bringing you out, if that makes any sense. So work on that. But I want to get to next topic here. I forgot to play that to show you the video. We didn't have it keyed up. But check the website, or I'll probably post it up. There's a video where it's a 2-year-old birthday party. They have Woody, and what's the girl's name? Jessie. Toy Story. Turking. And the woman's turking. And the baby, and they telling the baby to smack the kid's butt. Is this not a sign of failing our kids? If not, I don't know what is.
You know what? I'm not even going to say yes, because if you look at the future generation, this is going to be standard.
Yeah, and it's gonna.
And you know
it's
what?
Failed anyway.
They're losing TikTok, so they're gonna need somewhere else to put it. Probably go right back to Instagram for a hot minute.
Yeah.
But it's trending.
Well, if we lose TikTok, don't worry about it. They're gonna come out with something else, like what the Spanish old people say, tiki-toc. They'll come out with something different. It's saying the same thing. But the whole thing of this video is, I wanted to say, like, things that we do that we think is so cute, but it's actually scientists and psychiatrists realize it's us failing our kids from the beginning. I don't know. Could it be a culture thing? And then they wonder why they acting this, why they not getting.
That's the whole thing. I mean, like I'm saying, if we're looking at it from our perspective, right? And I feel like sometimes I'm too old even for my own generation. But we're gonna look at it like, yo, this is morally horrible, right? Like we're just like, no, how could you do this with the babies? Like, why is it? But if you're looking at what's coming after us, this is their thing, right? This American culture has slowly, well, you can argue, devolved or evolved into what it is now, right? And what it's turning into. And part of, I mean, you have this one side that's super liberal in its ideology of opening doors to everything, right?
Right.
Then you got this other side that's like sexually explosive. And then you got this other side that just kind of hates on everything, right? That's American culture these days.
Yeah. Even back in the days, if you think about it, like how they take their kid and be like, here, take that little one drink. It's not gonna kill him. Don't worry. And it's normally the uncles, want to act dumb with the kid. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna kill him. All right, go over there. Here, take this little drink. Not realizing that you screw the kid his life can be screwed up. You'd be wondering why he's a drunk. Or,
Right.
Or vice versa. Like my mom, she told me that she used, for some reason, her urge was to drink some hard liquor when she was pregnant with me. Nothing happened to me, but maybe that's why I don't like liquor.
Yeah, that's true too.
Maybe
You
that's
had
why
too
I
much
don't,
in the
that's
womb.
one of the things. But there are certain things that I hear. So if they tell you, don't do this and do that when you're pregnant because it can affect the baby's life through when he's growing up, why are you doing it when he's already born then?
Well, I mean, the whole thing is that look, if this is, you know, you got these overly sexualized cartoon characters, right? All right, maybe this is what would lead down to the child becoming a stripper. But hey, look at this. This is why I'm saying this is a product
But
of
we
the
had Jessie Rabbit.
No.
What was her name?
Jessica Rabbit, right?
Jessica Rabbit.
But what I'm saying is, let's look at what this negatively can be, right? So now we're going to be leading someone to go and be at the strip club. Except for we are also moving in with this generation into accepting all sex work, right?
Right.
So now, are you not just inspiring your kid to work at an acceptable profession? That's what I'm saying. You can't always look at these situations through your lens because this isn't about people in our era anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I don't want to say like, oh my God, this is horrible. Even though I'm thinking in my head like, they definitely doing too much here. Like, who does this?
Yeah,
At the same time,
it's a little.
That's them. Like when I ask who does this, they do.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, in that sense, like sometimes you can be like, it's probably a hit or miss. But this one is, if you say 8 out of 10 kids that start doing this when they're young, never really made it in their lives, then it's a big miss. Like you need to change your ways. Like some of the people, my dad always said, I did the Army stuff because I didn't want you to do it. You know, I wanted to fight for the freedom, fight for this. You know, I was like, no, you just wanted to get away from mom. But anyway, but they do things for the next generation don't have to. So when I hear, oh, I want to do this so my kids won't be living like this, so why are you showing them to live like this?
Because sometimes how can you show something to someone that you don't even have an idea of yourself, right? Like,
that's the problem.
You're always a byproduct of where you come from to some degree, right? Where if, let's say, you never got out the hood, but you want your kid to get out the hood, but you don't even know what out the hood looks like, how could you show them?
Yeah, well, good question. That we found a problem. Now here's the solution. Learn about what's out there so you can teach your kids. That's the solution for yourself.
Agreed, but
You
at
know,
the same time,
because even you like Googling, well then Google how it looks
they
somewhere
don't.
else.
No. See, don't. People don't like Googling. They definitely don't like Googling. That's why they ask stupid questions to
Yeah,
people
true. Or go
instead of just going on
tiki-taki.
Google.
Go to TikTok.
So now you're letting them teach each other?
I don't know.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out something.
See, exactly.
You know, because we don't got the encyclopedia person knocking on your door no more, so you don't even know, you know, what continents have
with
what.
the way the economy is, you can only afford A through C.
Yeah.
And you got 23
And
other letters
the
to get
C,
through.
And the C is you sharing with the neighbor anyway. Because they got D and E.
And there you go. You got to trade.
No, but, you know, if you don't give your child more, like, I didn't travel like as much as I'm doing now.
True.
Because I couldn't. My mom couldn't afford it. And my dad traveled all around the world because of the Army.
Right.
So we did not travel like that because we didn't have it. So now the first thing I said, I want to give my kids something I didn't have. And I hate when people say that, why you got them the PlayStation 4? Because I didn't have it. Boy, they didn't even have it when you were young. So
Right.
give them something you had when you were young but you couldn't get. Me was traveling and learning culture from everything else. That's what we do with our kid. Give them something that we didn't have.
Right.
You know, that's the whole thing. Education, we had it. Expanding our education mind, we didn't. So
True. It was very.
I wanted to expand his education mind where, here, learn this, learn why. Now there's ways to find out more about it than it was before.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing, if we're looking at education from when we're in school to this generation, is that it was very much you need to just learn the fact, right? Just learn the fact.
Whatever they tell you.
Why is irrelevant. You just be able to pass the test, right? And that's that whole standardized testing thing that's kind of, you know, they're trying to figure out how to make it better. But I see you and a lot of the schools and a lot more parents now trying to teach critical thinking.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you can learn all of these facts and maybe retain a tenth of them, right? Just because once the test is over, are you really going to want to think about it? But when you
Yeah.
start teaching someone how to think, right, they're going to learn, and they're going to learn a lot of various things, not just the facts in the book, but more applicable stuff, like, gain that street smarts, you feel me?
Yeah, and I think critical thinking, like a lot of people, oh, that little kid is smart. He's smarter because he's having that critical thinking blended in him. My son now is starting to learn the elements of science. And, he looked at the age, and he's looking at this. And then he's like, okay, liquid, solid, and gas. Then you look at one, and he's like, but it only shows solid and gas, but this is a liquid as well. So he's already in his mind saying to himself, these codes are a little bit wrong. Because the codes they're giving are only for 2 elements, but if you think about it, like ice, it's actually 3 elements. You got your liquid into ice, and if you heat it up, you got your gas, or steam.
Well,
you know what I mean?
steam is technically a liquid.
Right, but it's also gas is what they say vapors.
Well,
so he's like, so in his mind, he's like trying to figure out why they don't call it a pure gas when it's part of a gas. So it's like,
gaseous state. Well,
right,
so exactly,
you know what I mean?
and that's what I'm saying. Like, because water actually has 4 phases, but they don't talk about the 4th one like that because it's too hot.
Right.
It's like it's something you're never going to naturally see, and I think that's something that they do in school too, is that they limit what they teach because like, well, it's not really relevant. It's not about being relevant. It's, if my mind knows that there is more, I'm going to end up looking for more. You get what I'm saying? That exposure to more can lead people further, right? Like,
not to cut you off, but here's another thing you can do, because I was just thinking when you was like, they don't know anything else but what they know in the ghetto. Well, that is the issue. Here's a solution. Hey, son, I don't know it, but let's research it together. Because you know what you're doing? You're doing 2 things for that kid. You're researching it to get him smarter, but you're also telling him it's okay not to know everything.
Yeah.
So just research it. Let's figure it out.
But there's a third thing to that too. That child is seeing their parent trying to improve themselves. And that's something that they're going to aspire to do well. Oh, yeah, my father was always doing research. My mother was always doing research, and now I want to learn more and more and more too. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. That sets your kid up for success more than setting him up for failure. Or because you don't know it doesn't mean that the child shouldn't know it. Or it doesn't mean that you shouldn't learn it yourself. Like they say, oh, you're never too old to get a new education or a new job. Well, then you're never too old to learn something. You know what I mean? So learning it together, and then that bonding situation that you're having with your child is the greatest thing of all. Like anytime you ask a child in their 30s or 40s, what do you remember about your parents and stuff? They're not going to remember that you brought them a new sneaker. They're not going to. The first thing they're going to say is, oh, my God, I remember me and my dad, we went out to the park. They always come to a time of you together.
That depends on the person, because there are definitely some. I remember this time that I wanted this thing for Christmas, and then my father bought it. I was like, yay.
I'm still waiting for that toy. I mean, a material person, but an overall.
And we know quite a few of them.
Yeah. An overall person would think about time together.
Yeah.
And time is so more
precious.
Precious, because they say that time you can never get back, or that time of that moment, because you can be crying and everything, and then here comes a parent that does something out of the, like, wow. Like when PlayStation came out, I couldn't afford it. It was $100 back in the day. My mom couldn't afford $100 on a damn thing on Christmas. So I didn't say nothing. I went, made my toy and stuff. We made stuff for my mom. My mom was going out almost every day, so we didn't care. We thought she was working with the center like she always does. No, she was working and trying to extra money. On Christmas Day, there was a PlayStation there. There was the Cabbage Patch Kid. Like any toy that was out, and I didn't think of my mom busting her butt to get that toy. What I seen was anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Every time I seen like the Cabbage Patch Kid, first of all, we didn't have the money because that another one was $100 and something. And then 2, it was hard to catch.
Right.
Because they were selling out like crazy.
That, yeah.
So for my mom to bring my sister a Cabbage Patch, I was like, dang. She went all out, got the Cabbage Patch, had to probably wait online. You don't think of the stuff that they did to get you it. until you get a little older. But I was already in my teenage, and I was already critical thinking of everything.
Right.
So I'm like, damn, how the hell she got it when it's sold out?
Well,
So that is the things that I think about when you think about parents, how they
That extra effort,
extra effort they did. So taking that extra effort to say, let's Google this together, and then you see something there that didn't make sense, let's Google that.
right.
And that's showing the kid that continue learning and continue. If you have a question that has more questions, then you're on the right path.
Or at least you're teaching the kid to Google.
At least
you
that.
know.
Because Raiden comes up to us and be like, what does this mean? Did you look it up before you came to us?
Right.
Did you figure it out? And sometimes he said, yeah, but it brings me to more questions. When he says that, then I say, now he is learning. Because if you find an answer and it doesn't bring you to a question or to something like that doesn't make sense,
Right.
then you're not really going all in.
Right.
If that makes any sense. If you try to
Right.
Google something.
If you look up something and you're still left with questions, you're thinking about it beyond just,
What
A
they-
is B, usually.
Mhm.
I mean, there's certain things where there's nothing but a straight answer.
Right, right,
Like,
right.
you know, what's 82 times 363 million? You're like, yeah, just calculator, please, solve it.
calculator and
But there are some things that there's just not a, like, you can be like, is there, like, earlier we were talking about it, like, is there a bear in Africa, right?
Right.
And
we didn't even know. We were like,
we were
wow,
talking
is there
about
a
it,
bear
right?
in Africa? And
But-
I did Google it.
Yeah.
There's none.
There's no native
Yeah.
bear to Africa, right?
So-
But then, right, what it goes is to, wow, you should at least, for some reason in your head, I'm thinking anyone who's actually thinking about it beyond, like, okay, there's no bear in Africa, should also be thinking, but why?
Yeah.
Right? Like that,
Yeah.
and whether or not you dive into it, but the fact that you thought to look past just okay, so there is no bear in Africa,
Yeah.
shows that your brain is now starting to think critically, because then they'd be like, is it a food source thing? Is
Yeah.
whatever.
I think
And
it
you
was
could-
because when I looked at it, I thought it was because of the heat. Because remember, they have
The
to
big
hibernate,
fur, right.
and there's really no place in Africa to hibernate where the body temperature will bring you down. So that's why I'm thinking maybe that's why they're not there. But I did wanted to check. I'm like, and then that either when I did Google in the bottom it says how many animals are not in Africa too
Right.
popped up. So I was like, if I hit that, I'm gonna
all day,
keep
right?
on-
Yeah.
keep on going.
So I mean, yeah. Sometimes you have to know when to stop diving, because
Yeah.
I've definitely lost entire days just being like, wait,
Yeah.
I think I have class now. Meanwhile, I started looking at something at 10 p.m. the night
And
before.
that's when you have
so-
what they call that useless knowledge.
Yeah, right. Right. Like it's stuff that
Yeah.
you can only bring up at the bar,
Right,
or
yeah.
at a part of social event.
Hey, you know that I got this straw? You know, straws are, like you bring this.
the most random things.
Like, what the heck?
And you're like, I came across this article. Who comes across an article
Article,
about
right.
straws? Well, what happened that night was, and then now you have
Remind me of, I don't know if you ever guys watch Cheers, the mailman.
Oh yes.
He had all these things about everything, but you'd be like, is it
How?
really true?
When did you come up? Yeah, no, but that's what it is. You need that weird facts guy, right?
Mm-hmm. So sometimes you need to die, but having your child succeed from now, I think, is a way to get them out of where you're at. So when you're talking about you want to give that child something you never had, education is always the best. Knowledge, and then the number one thing you always can give your kid is critical thinking. Give them critical thinking plus, I guess I can't say empowerment, but the knowledge to not quit.
Yeah.
Like to push on something, even though they can't get it. Because nowadays, come on, when they took out everybody gets a trophy, I knew everything was going to go down the drain.
Participation awards are the worst thing ever.
Listen, win or lose, I'm like, no. You lost, boy. And I'll rub it in my son's face. I don't care. He come in, I lost. Damn, you lost? Damn. Who's the winner? That who got better?
you?
Oh, man. Because if you don't humble them down
Yeah.
from now, they never.
There's a reason why there are a lot of people who are very entitled, and why a lot of people can't take disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing increase in suicide rates, and all this lack of self-confidence and all this. And it comes from people who've been told since they were young, you're great at everything. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not. It doesn't mean you're not good at anything, but you're not great at everything.
My son right now is not even great in trash talking yet. He tries when we play games.
Oh, no.
He getting there. He getting there, but he can't beat me in trash talking. Because we trash talking the game. We could play Monopoly and still trash talk each other. All three of us in the family.
Who doesn't trash talk during Monopoly? Though?
I know, right? My son was like, yeah, that's true. That's true. Because we teach him, even with a video game, that if you lose, you lose. I'll be like, dang, you're in third place. But he'd be like, yeah, but you're not even in first. Like, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
You're not even winning. You're the first one who lost.
So we have competitions in our house, friendly competitions, but it's to show him to humble yourself down.
Yeah.
To show him that if you don't fight to be number one, then you failed automatically. I don't care if you come in second. I don't care if you came in last. But if you did not give it all,
you have to try your best.
Then you really failed.
Yep.
So that's why we teach him now, so he don't have to worry about it later. Like I don't want him in the window talking about I lost $1 million, but you got $34 million still in the bank. Like you know what I mean? Like
that'd be blowing minds.
And that's what happened in the Great Depression. Like half of the people was like still millions of dollars, and you were jumping out windows, but
they thought it was all gonna go away.
Yeah. Yeah. Here comes the Y2K thing.
Man, I missed that. That was hilarious.
That was so funny. Everybody was talking about take your money out the bank because you're going to go with $0.
That was that was
anyone that was born before 2000. You know what I mean? People right now are like, what's that?
Y2, yeah. The whole computer systems globally were gonna crash.
Yeah.
I remember how scared people were. That was the most awkward ball drop ever.
A lot of the banks' money was going because everybody was taking all their money out.
People really thought the world was gonna end.
They was like, take out your money, take out your money. I'm like, take out. Even my mom was like, you got any money in the bank? I'm like, no. All right, make sure you take it out. So it's like, and then I remember her getting her welfare check before the Y2K. She didn't want to spend that. She said, we're going to have to wait until after New Year's. I'm like, this is some stuff.
Seriously, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was something where it got crazy to do, but again, but there was no suicides. There was, but there was no.
True. It wasn't as big. It really wasn't a.
It wasn't that big depression
Prominent,
killing you. So when I read about that, I was like, wait. And you know, the Big Depression hit everybody. So the poor got even poorer.
Yep.
There was times where there was no gas, so you see cars all over the place trying to get that one little gas for their car. But they learned from it. You know, there were some people that started learning to bring gas with them in the back of their cars.
Yeah.
Don't go long trips. They even start learning how not to gas and go and press the gas like that, slowly pressing the gas. So people learn from there. Because I remember sitting in the back of my station wagon waiting online to get a gas. And as kids, we were like, what the hell's going on? Like, and you hear all the cars beep, 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 and hanging out, playing dominoes over here and stuff, just waiting for that truck. And when the truck came, it was like Christmas. Hey! Everybody's clapping. But the people from the back probably couldn't get none because by the time you get there, it's empty. Now you got to wait for another truck. Google it. It was a big thing, and I guess that's why they call it the Big Depression and, you know, and all that stuff. But, hey, it happens. But I want to get into some real good news. Not good news, but some news I heard. A 55-year-old man from Maryland gets 20 years behind bars after heading to Florida to meet a teenager girl who was undercover. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because it happens. You know, a lot of people go overseas even to meet a teenage. But here's my question. Why he get 20 years for going to see a girl, but a person that raped only got 10?
Yo, that makes no
This is
sense.
why I'm bringing this up.
No sense.
He could have been like, I just came to talk to her.
Right.
Because you don't have proof he came for that.
Anything sexual.
You know, but they said in the article he had condoms in his pocket. What man single doesn't have one? Right? Unless they don't really care. But that's circumstance evidence.
Yeah, circumstantial.
But they gave him 20 years. But someone that got caught raping a person only got 10 to 15.
So here's the thing. Was it 20 years on one charge or was it several charges? Because it sounds...
No, they charged him on... I even forgot I should have wrote it down. But they charged him for... attempted assassination. I forgot what the hell it was. But it was 10 to life.
What?
Over there in Maryland. But they gave him 20. Right? But I checked on Maryland on a rapist that only got 10.
That makes no sense.
And I'm not talking about a rapist on a woman. It was a rapist on a child. So she is considered a child because he thought he was 13. So why the action gets less than the premeditated,
premeditated attempt.
I don't understand
that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all.
That's the only reason why this caught my eye, because I'm like, 20 years? I'm like, I didn't think 20 years was, some of them even get a fine.
Yeah.
Because they didn't go through the whole
They
course.
didn't get to.
Right. Even them knocking on the door does not, it's just like a person that's selling their body. You can give them the money, but as long as they did not say yet, I'm going to do this and this for that money, you can't charge them.
Right.
So if he knocks on the door, you can't charge him. All he did was knock. Or because the email says, I'm going over there to talk to you, to do this to you. It can be all talk. He could probably knock on his door and change his mind.
Right.
You got to actually catch him in the
act.
room with his pants down. Bam, now I knew that's what you were going to do. You get caught. But he got 20 years for knocking on the door. I guarantee he ain't knocking at nobody else's door. Yo, come and see me. Knock on the door when you're home. Now, I ain't knocking on your door no more. You know what I mean?
Never again.
Never again I'm knocking. I'm not even doing doorbells. I'm not doing 20 years. So I don't understand that. Some of these laws need to get changed.
Low key, that's excessively cruel because if he's going to jail on rape charges, you already know it's about to happen.
Right.
You put him there for 20 years?
And I was like, okay, 20 years, good. They finally got him off the thing because I'm thinking he did it a couple of times.
Right.
This
it was
his
the
first
one
offense.
time. Wow.
His first offense. I didn't dive deeply to see if he had more charges before, back in the days. But this is his first defense on sex charges. So even if he killed somebody or was selling drugs, that has nothing to do with
this
his first
being
time.
sexual, right?
So I didn't understand that. He was not an abuser. It's like some of the laws have to change.
They're inconsistent. I mean, look, I'm not gonna be mad at a dude trying. Like a pedo attempt goes for 20 years.
No, I'm not mad.
But you can't
good.
tell me that someone who actually committed the crime shouldn't get more than 20 years. Then.
Right. It should have been vice versa.
Right.
He could have
got 10. That
guy
got 20. If he's got 20, can we add 20 to the other guy's sentence? You know what I'm saying? Like that's
yeah. The act, the charges should fit the act.
Yes.
And a lot of the times it don't. Like they tell people, if you're gonna get caught with kilos of cocaine, kill somebody. You're gonna get less time.
Yeah.
And the
That
kilos
doesn't make any sense.
No, but you were gonna sell it out there.
What
I didn't even get time to sell it. I didn't even get time to cut it.
See, and that's the point that cracks me up because sometimes I'm saying you must have been wanting to sell it. I said, what if I really wanted to snort that? They said lifetime supply, baby.
Right?
Right?
I bought it for personal use.
You can't tell me that because the amount is large that what I was going to do. No, you got to catch me selling it, fool.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, if I got that much drugs, that's my lifetime supply. And this is the last time I was purchasing it. That's why I was like, I just want as much as I need until 2092.
Yeah.
Right? You know
It's the same people that before weed became legal, even though you can't really have too much in your house.
You know what I'm saying?
But
That's what I'm saying.
these people got caught and they were dumb. If I'm going to be growing weed in my house back when it was illegal, I'm going to have cookies, boxes of cookies, so when they come in, you were going to sell it. No, bro. This is my supply. You don't see all the munchies?
Word.
I got munchies behind me. When I smoke this, I got the munchies.
I would have the whole setup so that my lawyer can be like, you said intent to, bro, look at the photo evidence. This dude is just a pothead. He's in the wrong state. Should have been in California, right?
Like this guy had cookies. He had so many munchies in the background. He had ham and cheese for days.
Come on, bro. This is an open and shut case.
You got to play it off.
Set him with the fine. That's it.
Yeah, sit him down. Matter of fact, you got Hostess cakes. You want some? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
bro.
Come on. Yeah. But everyone that got caught never had even enough food in their house. So
there was nothing but drugs in that crib.
Come on. Everybody know weed equals munchies.
Facts.
So
even Shaggy had Scooby snacks, baby.
Yeah, they were always, for some reason, in the back of that band.
Always.
And it was always the hippie band. So
And
hippie band
Shaggy
equals love,
never
peace, and
woke
rock and roll.
up.
So come on now. But overall, the laws need to change. I seen some of these laws where I'm like, and they need to stop if I do the same crime and this guy got 20 years and here I go and I get 5, but it was the same crime. No. It needs to stop. You give him 10.
This
give guy 10.
crime is this time.
Yep. So once you do, when crime laws started, they didn't have really like how many years. So now if they gave this person 5, it should be locked. If you fall into that section, you're getting 5. I hate this 5 to 10 bullcrap.
My thing is literally the fact that you've developed different degrees of crime.
Right.
And yet that doesn't always stipulate a guaranteed number, right?
Right.
Like,
That's
so
what I'm like.
if murder can, murder 3 is, what? I think
It's 25 to life.
No.
No.
That's murder 1.
I mean, murder 1, I'm sorry.
Murder 1's 25 to life.
10,
Murder 3
10
might
to
be
15,
like 10,
15 to
you see
25,
what I'm
25
saying?
to life.
Right? And then you even have something like manslaughter, right? So, like, you broke it down like this. Why do we have ranges in between? You get what I'm saying? Like, no. That should just be murder. And then do it from 0 to life. Like, like.
There you go. But the only range we're going to have is the 6th day from here to our next episode.
Yep.
So, you hit it on the 7th day. So this is Charles Laloma from LDM Show.
I'm Will D from XY101.
Oh, we still got 5 minutes, she said? 4 minutes. The engineer like, where you going? She, you know what it is that she's so caught up in the conversation. She like, we wanted to go a little bit more, so she's like screaming 4 more minutes.
Okay.
So we got 4 minutes. We're about to cut it off. We don't care. We produce our own shows. We forget we got our engineer and producer in the background. So, but anyway, back to that what we were saying. You said the manslaughter and all that. Yeah. I seen a serial killer get, I think it was 15 to 50 years, even though they smacked him with 2 of them.
Right.
Which that's another thing I don't understand. Just say lifetime.
No. See, that's another funny thing.
What, he gonna die and come back?
No. If you have a life sentence, right, that actually has a number equated to it that you can live out. That's why they put on multiple life sentences. So if you get a life sentence of 75 years, right, and you live to 76 years, they could say you did your time.
No, I'm saying when they say life, no chance of parole, no chance of getting out. Okay, so then why you giving me another case? Like, that's why some of them...
Because it has a term length.
No, now they don't. In some cases, life is life. You can't come out.
So why are they putting multiple charges?
That's what I'm saying.
Doesn't make sense.
Even in court, they be like, and the other charges are for what?
Well, I think sometimes what
it's just to make it look good sometimes.
Well, no, sometimes I think it's because if, let's say, you get a charge with 3 or 4 different things and 2 of them are removed, let's say that your lawyer...
Oh, yeah, they remove it.
That's to make sure you still get hit with something.
Also, sometimes you got to listen to them. Sometimes they say life in jail, and then your next case is life in jail without parole.
Right.
So you can probably get parole for the other one, but hey, wait, you're still going to stay in jail because you don't got parole for this one. So they're going to get you anyway.
They just like to...
Yeah, but the law needs to change, especially when, since it's being updated, it has to change now, especially with all the people want to be this and be that. It's like, yeah, you got to change. Because, like, if a man hits a woman, it's pretty much like a domestic violence thing.
Right.
But what happens if that man turns into a woman and hits a woman? He's still getting charged with domestic.
But
see what I'm saying? You need to change the law then if you want to change the ways.
But I don't get it because once you say it's flip flopping, they're also protected by another set of laws.
She said, "I'm not weird. I'm Maria." How you doing? I said that's a funny one, but it happens. Just if you're gonna go into the law, changing the laws, which again, vote for those people that do your law. Don't worry about your little congressmen here and there. These are the guys that want to change the law. You have to go for them.
Local
elections
matter.
Watch that. But anyway, now I think it's time for us to go. So, yes, Magna. We see you next week, and watch our show. So, yeah, we start. My engineer said we start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have to say that, Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, that's true.
Because we got some Filipinos that be waking up early in the morning talking about hello, and then you be like, hey, good evening. And we're like, oh, wait a minute, you're in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, Eastern Standard, Eastern, you heard me? Eastern. My dad's accent, Eastern. I guess it's because it's May, so we're thinking of Cinco de Mayo coming out, you know what I mean?
Man.
Come on, man. Andale!
No. You leave that for the French.
Hey, if you're gonna drink a lot, and y'all people who work on Sunday, try to get off. You know, come with a sombrero at work and talk about. Listen, I can work. Andale.
Wait, see, that doesn't make no sense. Because when's the last time you heard a Mexican say they can't work?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, come on now, they the hardest motherfuckers.
So you know you really screwed yourself up with the Cinco de Mayo. You're supposed to have a holiday.
They come to work drunk when they're drunk. There's no excuse.
You're supposed to have a holiday to get out of work. Mexicans don't get out of work. But anyway, we'll talk to you next week. Have fun.
Peace.
And remember, keep on thinking.